Walk into any RV dealership today and ask about a new camper van, and they'll hand you a price tag somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000. For most retirees on a fixed income, that's the end of the dream right there. But here's what the dealers won't tell you. Thousands of seniors are traveling the country right now in camper vans that cost less than a used pickup truck. Today I'm counting down 15 of them, and number one is something almost nobody thinks to look for. Quick note before we start. Every van on this list can realistically be found or built for under $40,000, and most come in far under that. Some are turnkey. Some need a little sweat. All of them have one thing in common. Real retirees are living their best years in them right now. Let's get into it. Number 15. The Dodge Grand Caravan Minivan Camper. Nobody brags about a minivan at the campground, and that's exactly why this one belongs on the list. The Dodge Grand Caravan has a party trick called stow-and-go seating, where the second and third row seats fold completely flat into the floor. No unbolting, no heavy lifting, no trips to the storage unit. In about 30 seconds, you've got a flat cargo floor big enough for a full-size bed platform. Used Grand Caravans with reasonable miles sell everywhere in America for $6,000 to $9,000. And a simple bed platform, a cooler, and a camp stove adds maybe $2,000 more. Retired couples run these from Michigan to Florida every winter, sleeping at state parks and Cracker Barrel lots along the way. It drives like a car, parks like a car, and gets around 22 miles per gallon on the highway. The trade-off is you cook outside and there's no bathroom. But as a way to test whether van travel is even for you, nothing on this list costs less to try. And if a minivan feels too small, the next one gives you real van bones for about the same money. Number 14, the Chevy Astro and GMC Safari. These boxy vans from the 90s and early 2000s have quietly become a cult favorite among older travelers, and used prices are still sitting in the $6,000 to $10,000 range. Retirees who know engines love them for one simple reason. The Astro is rear-wheel drive and built on a truck-style frame with the same basic 4.3-liter V6 that Chevy put in millions of pickups. Any mechanic in any small town in America can work on one, and parts are cheap at every auto parts store from Maine to Arizona. The Astro can also tow around 5,000 pounds, which means your fishing boat comes with you. Inside, there's enough length for a 6-foot bed along one wall with storage on the other. All-wheel drive versions exist too, which snowbirds who pass through mountain states appreciate. You won't stand up inside and the ride is a little trucky, but for pure dollars per mile dependability, the Astro is hard to argue with. Now, the next van solves the parking problem entirely. Number 13, the Ford Transit Connect. The Transit Connect is the little delivery van you've seen plumbers and florists driving around town, and it might be the easiest camper on this list for anyone nervous about piloting a big vehicle. It's shorter than many SUVs, has a low step-in height that's gentle on knees and hips, and sips fuel at around 24 miles per gallon. Used cargo versions run $8,000 to $14,000 depending on year and miles. Inside the long wheelbase version, there's just enough room for a single bed platform or a clever fold-out double with storage drawers underneath. Retired solo travelers, especially widowed folks getting back on the road alone, gravitate to this van because it never feels intimidating. It fits in a normal parking space at the grocery store, the doctor's office, and the grandkids' driveway. Ford stopped making them for the American market in 2023, which means used supply is healthy and prices have softened. It's a micro camper, no question. But small has its own kind of freedom. The next one takes the micro camper idea and adds something clever on the roof. Number 12, the Nissan NV200 with a pop-top conversion. The NV200 is another compact city van, and on its own, it's nothing special. But a small company out of California called Recon Campers turned it into something called the Envy, a tiny camper with a pop-top roof that gives you standing room and a second sleeping area upstairs. Used Envy conversions surface in the $15,000 to $25,000 range, and plain used NV200 cargo vans start around $8,000 if you'd rather build your own. What makes this interesting for older travelers is the combination of car-like size on the road and full standing headroom at camp. You drive something the size of a small crossover, then park, pop the roof, and suddenly you can stand up straight to get dressed and make coffee. Grandkids fight over who gets to sleep in the upstairs bunk. Nissan discontinued the NV200 in 2021, so this is another one where patience on the used market pays off. enough. But if reliability is your number one worry, this next van is the answer. Number 11, the Toyota Sienna Camper. Ask any mechanic which vehicle on this list will still be running at 300,000 miles, and most will point at the Toyota Sienna without hesitation. The Sienna is a minivan, yes, but it's a minivan with Toyota's bulletproof V6 and, in later models, available all-wheel drive, which is rare in this entire category. Used Siennas with sensible mileage run $10,000 to $18,000, and several small companies sell bolt-in camper kits with a bed, a slide-out kitchen drawer, and window screens for another $3,000 to $5,000. Retirees who winter in the desert around Quartzsite, Arizona love these things because they just never break. There's no drama, no roadside waits, no surprise repair bills eating the Social Security check. The newer hybrid Siennas even push 35 miles per gallon, which changes the math on long trips completely. You give up standing room and a bathroom. What you get back is the closest thing to a guarantee that exists in the used vehicle world. Now we step up into vans that were built for comfort from day one. Number 10, the Ford E-Series high-top conversion van. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, companies like Explorer Van and Sherrod took brand new Ford Econoline vans and turned them into rolling living rooms. Raised fiberglass roofs, plush captain's chairs, wood trim, mood lighting, and a rear bench that folds flat into a bed at the push of a button. These vans were $60,000 luxury items when new. Today, clean examples with shockingly low miles sell for $8,000 to $15,000, often from original elderly owners who barely drove them. Here's what makes them ideal for seniors now. The high top means most people can stand or nearly stand inside. The seats are genuinely comfortable for long hauls, better than most modern vehicles. And underneath all that velour is the Ford E350 platform, one of the most common and easily repaired chassis in America. Add a portable toilet and a cooler, and you have a weekend camper with zero construction required. The Chevy version of this same idea comes next, and it stayed in production even longer. Number 9, the Chevy Express and GMC Savannah conversion van. Chevrolet kept building the Express van in nearly the same form for almost 3 decades, which tells you everything about how proven the platform is. Conversion versions with high tops and folding rear beds float around the used market between $10,000 and $18,000. The 6.0-liter V8 versions tow a travel trailer or boat without breaking a sweat, and the whole drivetrain is shared with millions of Chevy trucks, so repairs are cheap and parts are everywhere. Plenty of retired couples run a simple system in these vans. The power bench in back stays made up as a bed, a portable fridge rides between the captain's chairs, and a folding table sets up under the awning at camp. Nothing fancy, nothing fragile. General Motors only recently ended production of these vans, which means the used pipeline will stay full for the next 20 years. If the road treks later in this list feel like too much money, this is the honest budget path to the same kind of travel. But now we get into the real hidden gems, the factory-built campers nobody talks about. Number 8, the Winnebago Rialta. The Rialta might be the most misunderstood motorhome ever sold in America. Winnebago built it from 1995 to 2005 on a Volkswagen chassis, creating a compact motorhome about the size of a large van that gets 17 to 21 miles per gallon. That's roughly double what a traditional motorhome burns. Inside a 21-foot footprint, you get a real bathroom with a shower, a kitchen with a fridge and stove, and seating that converts to beds. Used Rialtas sell between $20,000 and $40,000 depending on condition, and they have a devoted following of retired owners who keep detailed maintenance forums running to this day. The honest caveat is the Volkswagen drivetrain, which needs a specialist rather than the corner garage, so buy one that's been cared for. But for a couple who wants a real bathroom and real fuel economy and something that fits in a normal campsite, the Rialta has almost no competition at this price. If you're finding value in this list, take 1 second and hit subscribe. I cover affordable RV and travel options for retirees every single week, and the next 7 vans are where this list gets really good. Number 7, the Airstream B190. Most people have no idea Airstream ever made a van. In the late 80s and 90s, Airstream built the B190 on the Ford E350 chassis, a 19-foot fiberglass-topped camper van with a wet bath, a kitchen, and a rear bed. Because it doesn't look like the famous silver trailer, it never picked up the Airstream price premium. Clean examples trade hands for $15,000 to $25,000, a fraction of what anything else wearing that name costs. Underneath, it's all familiar Ford V8 hardware that any shop can service. Owners love the rear lounge that converts to a large bed, the real standing headroom, and the fact that everything you need for a month on on the road is already built in. Insulation is decent, the tanks are adequately sized for a few days off-grid, and the community of owners is small but generous with advice. It's the cheapest way into the Airstream family, and honestly, one of the smartest. The next van, though, is the one you'll see most often in Florida and Arizona every winter. Number 6. The Road Trek 190 Popular. Drive through any snowbird campground from Yuma to the Gulf Coast and count the Road Treks. This Canadian-built camper van, made on the Chevy Express chassis for decades, is arguably the most beloved senior travel van ever produced, and the used market is enormous. The 190 Popular packs a full wet bath, a kitchen with a 3-way fridge, a power sofa that becomes a king-size bed, and clever storage into a van that fits in a standard parking space. Older examples in solid shape start around $18,000, and even pampered later models rarely cross $40,000. The Chevy 6.0 V8 underneath is about as trustworthy as engines get, and because tens of thousands of these were built, every question you'll ever have has already been answered on the owner forums. Widows and widowers traveling solo especially praise how manageable it is. One vehicle, one insurance payment, no towing, no backing up a trailer. Just turn the key and go. Number 5 is the Road Trek's biggest rival, and some owners insist it's built even better. Number 5, the Pleasureway Excel. Pleasureway is a family-owned company out of Saskatchewan, Canada, and their older Excel models have a reputation for craftsmanship that borders on obsessive. Real wood cabinetry, quality fixtures, and fit and finish that puts mass-market RVs to shame. The Excel rode on the same trusty Ford and Chevy full-size van chassis as everything else in this class, so the mechanicals are cheap to keep healthy. The signature feature is the rear power sofa that lowers into a large flat bed at the touch of a button. No cushion wrestling required, which anyone with a bad shoulder will appreciate immediately. Used Excels typically run $25,000 to $40,000, sitting slightly above equivalent Road Treks because owners tend to baby them and hold on to them. Interior layouts favor two people who want comfort over capacity, with a proper bathroom, good counter space, and seats that swivel to create a living room at camp. It's the quiet luxury pick of this entire list. But the next van was designed with older travelers in mind from the very start, and almost nobody has heard of it. Number 4, the Great West Vans Classic Supreme. Great West Vans was a small Canadian manufacturer that built camper vans in Winnipeg, and their Classic Supreme is one of the best-kept secrets in the used market. What set Great West apart was the layout. They built a true walk-through interior on the extended Chevy Express chassis, meaning you can move from the driver's seat all the way to the rear bed without crouching through obstacles, a small thing that matters enormously when your knees have opinions. The rear features twin beds that convert to a king, a setup many older couples specifically hunt for because it means nobody climbs over anybody at 2 in the morning. Because the brand is obscure, used examples often sell for $25,000 to $35,000, undercutting comparable Road Treks and Pleasureways. Supply is thin, so finding one takes patience and a willingness to travel for the right van. Those who own them tend to say the same thing. Once you've had twin beds and a walk-through floor, you never go back. Now we shift from buying old campers to a smarter way of building one. Number 3, the Ram ProMaster 1500 with a conversion kit. One fact matters more to a 70-year-old body than any horsepower number. The Ram ProMaster has the lowest floor height of any full-size van sold in America because it's front-wheel drive with no drive shaft running underneath. The step into a ProMaster is closer to stepping into a minivan than climbing into a truck, and the flat floor and vertical walls make the interior feel like a small room. Used ProMaster 1500 cargo vans, often retired from delivery fleets, sell for $15,000 to $25,000. Then companies like Wayfarer Vans out of Colorado Springs sell insulated wall panels, a bed, and a kitchen unit that bolt in over a weekend with basic hand tools for well under $15,000. Total investment lands around $30,000 to $40,000 for a nearly new van with a warranty-friendly, removable interior. High roof versions give even tall folks full standing room. For retirees who want modern safety features and easy entry without a custom-build price, this combination is quietly brilliant. The runner-up spot goes to the van the pros already trust with 1,000,000 miles. Number 2, the used fleet Ford Transit. Ever wonder what happens to all those white Amazon and utility transits when their fleet contracts end? They flood the auction and dealer market, and that flood is your opportunity. High-roof Ford Transits with complete service records sell used in the $20,000 to $30,000 range, and the high roof gives 6 feet 5 inches of standing room inside. Fleet vans sound scary, but fleet maintenance is usually better than private owner maintenance, with oil changes done on schedule and and every repair documented. The Transit's EcoBoost engine pulls mountain grades without strain, and Ford dealers exist in every town in the country. From there, keep the build simple. A bed platform, a portable power station, an insulated floor, and a portable toilet get you traveling for another $3,000 to $5,000, and you can add comforts one trip at a time. Thousands of retirees have gone exactly this route. It's the most flexible path on this list, which is why it nearly took the top spot. But number one beats it on price, on accessibility, and on pure cleverness. Number one, the retired shuttle bus and paratransit van. This is the one nobody talks about, and it might be the single best kept secret in senior travel. Every year, churches, hotels, retirement communities, and county transit agencies retire their shuttle buses and paratransit vans, and they sell them at government auctions and sites like GovDeals for pennies on the dollar. We're talking $5,000 to $15,000 for vehicles that often have fresh commercial maintenance records. Now think about what these vehicles were built for in the first place. Moving older passengers safely. That means a factory-installed wheelchair lift on many of them, extra wide doors, low entry steps, grab rails everywhere, bright interior lighting, and standing headroom down the center aisle. Features that would cost tens of thousands to add to a camper van come included for free. Rip out the passenger seats and the wide-open interior converts to a camper faster than any cargo van, with windows already installed down both sides. For any traveler with mobility challenges or anyone planning for the decade ahead, a paratransit conversion isn't a compromise. It's an upgrade hiding in plain sight. So look at what this whole list really tells you. The RV industry wants you to believe that road travel in retirement starts at six figures. Meanwhile, an $8,000 minivan, a $15,000 shuttle bus, or a $25,000 road trek will take you to the exact same sunset at the exact same campground. The van doesn't make the trip. You do. Pick the one that matches your body, your budget, and your kind of travel, and the country opens right up. If this list got you thinking, your next step is knowing what to check before you hand over a single dollar, because used campers hide expensive problems in predictable places. I made a full video walking through exactly what to inspect on an older camper van before you buy. It's on your screen right now. Click it, and I'll see you there.